U.S. Education Department has cut federal funding of Harvard University. As per statements by the department, the Trump administration has frozen Harvard's grant of $2.2 billion as well as multi-year contracts worth $60 million over anti-Semitism concerns. Harvard University accused the Trump administration of overstepping its authority. The university's president, Garber, said Harvard will not surrender its independence.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration announced on Monday it was freezing $2.3 billion in federal funding to Harvard. The move came hours after the university rejected numerous demands from the Department of Education, which Harvard President Garber wrote in a letter would allow the federal government to, quote, control the Harvard community and threaten the school's values. The funding freeze comes after the Trump administration said last month it was reviewing $9 billion in federal contracts and grants to Harvard. That's part of a crackdown on what it says is anti-Semitism that erupted on college campuses during pro-Palestinian protests over the past 18 months. The administration has already frozen hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funding for numerous universities. It's pressing institutions to make policy changes, citing what it says is a failure to fight anti-Semitism on campus. Deportation proceedings have begun against some detained foreign students who took part in pro-Palestinian demonstrations, while visas for hundreds of other students have been canceled. In a letter on Friday, the Education Department stated that Harvard had, quote, failed to live up to both the intellectual and civil rights conditions that justify federal investment. Harvard agreed in January to provide additional protections for Jewish students. And Garber said in his letter that while the university is taking steps to address anti-Semitism on campus, quote, these ends will not be achieved by assertions of power unmoored from the law to control teaching and learning at Harvard and to dictate how we operate. To ease any funding crunch created by a cutoff in federal funding, Harvard is working to borrow $750 million from Wall Street.
Well, that is the latest there from the U.S. Now back